organizational, please stand and we'll say pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, welcome newcomers. Tonight's the organizational meeting and the oath of office. So if I could have the new council members and the mayor stand. And raise your right hand. We're gonna do a little fill in the blank here. So when I pause for your name, go ahead, and when I'll pause for council member or mayor, you can fill that in too, okay? I
Lee Samuelson.
do solemnly swear to support the Constitution of the United States,
Do solemnly swear to support the Constitution of the United States
of the state of Minnesota,
of the state of Minnesota,
and to discharge faithfully the duties of the office of,
and to discharge faithfully the duties of the office of mayor, council member of the city of Taylor Falls, Minnesota,
to the best of my judgment and ability,
to the best of my judgment and ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
All right, welcome. And I will now turn it over to Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mary. Sandra, go ahead. Sandra approached and asked us if she could give us something to the entire council.
This is from Taylor's Falls Concerned Citizens, the Friday Girls 6+ Camp.
Well, thank you. It says, from great men, great things are expected.
We should clarify that that's a gift to the city.
Yep,
right?
this stays with the city. This is a gift from the city, not me. Thank you. Well, today's meeting is gonna be our organizational meeting. Bear with us. Some of us are new, as you know, and so it might be a little bumpy, but we're gonna get through it. And as the card said, great things to come. So thank you all for being here. Mary, we have roll call right now. Everybody is here. I'm gonna ask the council if everybody's had a chance to look at our packet and the agenda.
Yes.
Yes. Is there anything in the agenda that anybody would like to change or add?
I would like, just make a motion to the agenda to identify the agenda items. If I can have a second, do we need a second, or can I go an explanation if you'd like? I was just wondering if we could get organizational meeting as, identified as A, agenda item A. Discussion of job descriptions identified as agenda item B. Review temporary employment for the following, agenda item C, and then office hours, agenda item D.
I would say that.
Okay. We have a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, first part of our organizational meeting, we will be electing the vice mayor for Taylor's Falls. That mayor will, the vice mayor will fill in for myself if I cannot be here or something happens to me, so. Do I have any nominations?
I would like to nominate Larry Julikine for vice mayor. Larry has 17 years of experience on the council. He has held various liaison roles, public works, parks and rec, personnel, and heritage preservation. His length of service and experience makes him a logical choice, at least in my mind, and one that would most benefit the city, the new mayor, and the council.
Larry, do you accept that nomination?
Yes.
Are there any other nominations?
And I would like to nominate Lee Samuelson to be vice mayor. because of how long he's been here in the community, who he knows, what he's connected with, and I think he really has the temperament, to sit in that position if need be, or when the mayor is not here.
And Lee, do you accept the nomination?
Yes, I do.
Are there any other nominations? Any other nominations? Seeing none, the nomination portion has been closed. We will now need to vote, and I want to make sure that we do the voting correctly. Mary, do we need to do since there's two, we need to do a written vote or verbal?
I'm gonna add to, I don't know.
Okay.
Um,
Is the council okay if we do a verbal for both? Are we okay with that? Okay? Yep. All right. Our first nomination was Larry Julekine. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Nay.
Our second one is Lee Samuelson. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed?
how many, I'm sorry, how many?
We have, two nays for Larry, three nays for Larry. Lee wins by 3. All right, our first, resolution is 23-01-002023. All these numbers I know are gonna be tough, since if you don't have a packet in front of you. This is the organizational meeting we will be going through, and declaring our, official newspaper. We've used the Chisago County Press for a number of years. Is everybody on the council, okay with continuing to use Chisago County Press as our local newspaper?
Yes. Need a formal motion on that?
Yes, you do.
Yep.
Oh, no, we do not. Well, because we're gonna do a final motion at the end of the ordinance,
Okay. I have no objection to that.
or resolution.
No objection.
No objection.
Okay. The next part of the agenda on this one will be our official city depository. We have been using Midwest One Bank in St. Croix Falls, Wisconsin, and then the 4M Fund in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The following agents will be endorsing checks will be myself and our vice mayor, along with Mary. And then we will have a zoning coordinator administration when we hire that position. They'll also have signature. Any questions on this?
I have a couple questions. One is, just clarification, what is the 4M Fund, Minneapolis?
So the regular checking account is what we use at Midwest One, and the 4M Fund is like an investment, I think, that has been there forever and a day, and I don't know if Larry can help me out with the rest of that.
Yeah, it's
It's just-
basically an investment.
Just an
fund.
investment fund?
Is there a balance of some sort? Do we know what balance is?
Oh, yeah, yep.
Do we know what the balance is?
Yeah.
I do not have it off the top of my head, but, I should have it for you on the next meeting, cause I will have totals and everything.
Okay. And then the only other issue I have, I guess, is right now we have the coordinator zoning administrator as a signor on the account. I don't know if we need that at this point. Is
So typically, you don't want to have the 2 people on council, if you can help it, sign the checks, nor do you want 2 people in the office sign checks. You kind of want to have them opposite. So once that position is filled, then you would want to give that person signing in case the other one's not in the office. And that is something that the auditors do look for.
Okay, thank you.
I just have a question on the last sentence there. The mayor is further authorized to use a facsimile signature stamp purchased by himself. I've always been advised that's a bad idea. I would like to suggest we scratch that. I can't imagine the number of signatures would require a facsimile stamp. But if we have one, I would think it'd have to be well secured. I just think it's a bad idea.
I do think there are quite a few checks at some point, aren't there? Are there quite a few checks that you would have to go through and sign individually?
Correct. Sometimes it's minimal. It can be under 20, and I've had it as many as 50 or more. It all depends on the month that we're in when things are due.
I do like Councilmember Grove's idea of if we could have it locked up here, because I think 50 checks would be, I don't want the cramps to start coming in.
I'm open, I haven't bought one yet, so I'm open to signing 50 checks if we need to.
Okay.
If the citizens and the council feel that it's safer for us as a whole, then I'm all for not having a stamp. Mary, let's make sure we take that off then.
Okay.
We can always bring that back too
Yep.
if you feel it is over.
For sure. And then on to council member liaisons, I guess.
Now,
Is that all under the same, that's under the same resolution, right, Mary? that you
Yep.
have?
This is the full resolution,
Yep.
yes.
is it possible, if I can, just make a suggestion that, and actually a motion, and ask for a second, that we just postpone, we just take care of the agenda items that are required by the statute, by state statute at this time. Because as I look at the other items, I think it might be beneficial for the new council members and myself to get a better understanding of what these liaison positions would be. And I think we could do that within the next couple of weeks, what the commissions do, what's their mission statement. I see there's some other things here about review the council bylaws, which right now we don't have. And then the bonds, the official bonds, I don't think we've seen those yet. So I'm just wondering if, at this time, if we could just postpone the second part, the non-statutory required parts of this agenda item to a definite period, which would be the next council meeting. I'm guessing this month would have to be this month, but January 23rd perhaps.
So, just to make sure that we have this right, we have a motion to postpone, council member liaisons to January 23rd's meeting. Do I have a second?
I have a question about court, order. Will there be discussion after the second?
Okay.
Actually, okay, go ahead.
So, we are now, open to discussion on postponing council member liaisons to the next meeting.
Who is second? Were you?
Leave it.
Oh, leave us.
Firstly, I think we need to go forward with the liaison responsibilities. You know, commissions are a very important part of our organization. And I think most everybody here is aware of what they do. Public works, personnel, law enforcement, fire department. You know, it's pretty clear what these positions are required of the liaison. And, you know, as the newly minted elder statesman, not by choice, I have some suggestions to put some people in place in the commissions if anybody wants to hear them.
Could I ask a question on the motion first, though?
Yeah.
My question was gonna be, I believe the commissions can't meet until after our first meeting of the month. So if we put this off, that'll put them probably at almost 2 months of not meeting. I don't know if that's an issue or not.
So, they cannot meet until after the mayor has actually met with the commissions. And if you haven't put the liaisons with the commissions, then the mayor isn't really going to be meeting with them, in order to find a chair for each one of them as well. So that you're actually holding them up probably for a good another month. That's my understanding anyway.
Okay. Any questions on?
No, I don't, right now, I don't, what are our active commissions at this point? Larry?
Public Works, Personnel, the Planning Commission, EDC, Fire Department, Law Enforcement.
Yeah, as far as departments, I know the departments, the sheriff's department, fire department. I don't know when the last time did EDC meet recently as well, or,
You were on EDC, right?
I'm sorry, I mean HPC is what, the other one.
Yeah. We've been putting off our meetings for a couple of reasons, you know, lack of quorum, and, mostly for lack of quorum. So we'd like to get, you know, somebody to be the liaison to HPC, so that can move forward.
I guess
But
my,
I think we have, a couple of pretty significant personnel matters that need to be dealt with too, and I'm not sure we can move forward with those without liaisons.
yeah, well, that's the other thing, I think that's important. Can we get some information on, I mean, I can help people with the fire department liaison or sheriff's department, I guess my concern is that we have just a couple more weeks is all it would take. We could look into these a little bit more, come in and see Mary and ask her what the responsibilities are for the sheriff's department, for the fire department and all these other liaison positions. Just to educate her, because if we're gonna nominate somebody, I think we should know a little bit what the responsibilities are for that position.
Well, personally, I've served on Public Works for 16 years with Ross, so I'm familiar with that position. And for the last year, I've also done personnel, so I'm fairly comfortable with taking both of those liaisons tonight.
Are you nominating yourself for those then?
Yes.
We can't nominate until we close the motion that's on the floor of suspending or postponing the,
Right.
liaison portion of this, so.
Okay, well, I've expressed my concerns on it, I guess, and I'm thinking of the new council members coming in and myself, you know, just having a little more time to get some more information before we send nominations forward. So I'm ready to go for a vote on that motion.
Okay, yeah, if I could just say one more thing, I think I've prepared myself enough to, know which committees I prefer to be on, and if not those, I can certainly, represent others. I just think with, the personnel, matters that are, pending right now, we need to get started on that ASAP. The others I'm not sure about. I know Public Works is one of the personnel issues, so that, we have a one-person crew right now, and that concerns me. And we've got Mary in the office, that's it. So I'm very concerned about the personnel situations we have, and I would just like to state that I'm fully prepared to, take nominations, make nominations for the, various liaison roles.
Would you consider waiting on the commissions?
If I had to make a friendly amendment, departments should be handled.
Right.
If personnel is a department, then
Yes, it is. I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
I could accept that.
So, we still gotta,
Yeah,
do you wanna amend?
I will amend it to include, the departments,
Okay.
fire department, sheriff's department, personnel. Anything else I might be missing in department?
Okay.
And we'll just, yeah, public works, and then we'll just wait on the commissions if we can bring that to a vote.
Okay. Let's bring that to a vote. The vote will be on, continuing the, liaisons for law enforcement, fire department, public works and personnel, and postponing to our next meeting, the planning commission, economic commission, parks and rec, heritage, and library board.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, let's get back on track here. Thank you for a great discussion. That was really good. Let's start with law enforcement and liaisons. We did have Councilmember Murphy, so we will need to pick a new council member for that one for 2023. Do I have any nominations?
Nominate Troy for law enforcement.
We have a nomination for Troy. Do I have a second?
I'll second. Do I have to ask if you're interested?
I'm gonna ask him. Are you interested, Troy, in being liaison for the police department?
I am very interested, and thank you for the nomination.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, let's move on to the fire department. We had Troy on the fire department in 2022. Is that something that we wanna continue with? Do we wanna nominate somebody else?
I would nominate Troy, but he's been familiar with the position.
Okay. And do we have a second to continue having Troy as our liaison for the fire department?
I will second that.
Troy, do you accept that?
I will accept that, thank you.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Congratulations, Troy. Let's move on to Public Works. In the past, we had our Mayor Buhite and then Councilmember Murphy. Who would we like to nominate for Public Works in 2023?
I would like to nominate Lee Samuelson for liaison for Public Works, just because of his knowledge in the area, his experience.
And there's two.
So we have one nomination for Lee. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. And then we have another spot. Who would we like to nominate for the second spot with Public Works?
Well, I could nominate myself. I've got a strong background in that type of work. And I'm also interested in personnel, so if that makes any difference, I just wanna let you know now. So I would, nominate myself for Public Works liaison. Or lead, whatever they are.
Do I have a second for Tim?
I'll second that.
All right, let's vote for both Lee and Tim for Public Works. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Passes. All right, personnel. Tim has already nominated himself on this. Do I have a second for Tim?
Second.
We need one more.
I'll nominate myself.
All right, I have a nomination for Larry to join the personnel. He was on it last year, he has experience. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any other nominations? All right, let's vote. We have Tim and Larry for our personnel liaisons. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. That is going to wrap things up here for our liaisons for tonight.
So, one thing tabling. the other
Yeah, so he postponed to a definite date of next meeting for the planning commission, well, the rest of the commissions. There's one thing that we need to discuss as well, would be, the stormwater utility board will be, the next on here. I'm assuming we're gonna postpone that as well until the next meeting. Is that included in that, Mary? Will that be included?
I guess that's up to you guys if you want to table it.
I would like to make a motion to postpone that to definite period.
Not to just postpone, what, I'm sorry.
Not to table, postpone to a definite period. Next
To
meeting,
next meeting?
123. And if I could, I would like to make a motion to postpone agenda item A 4, 5, and 6 until a definite date and time, and that would be Monday, January 23rd. So that would be A4 is employee compensation and benefits, 5 is quarterly transfers, and 6 would be reimbursement rates.
All right, so we have a motion to, oh, go
Mr.
ahead.
Mayor,
Yes.
can I just point one thing out?
Please do.
Compensation is that then, all wages would be held at 2022 rates, for the compensation. And the quarterly transfers, that has been in play for the last several years, the same dollar amount too, so I don't know if that makes it an easier thing. That's one that I just gave you.
Yep, so, let's take care of the fee schedule first. We're jumping ahead. So let's go back and do the fee schedule with the, change on the sheriff's fees, cause that was the next resolution. And then we'll have a conversation about postponing the next 3. So,
Wait,
Go
I
ahead.
have one more question.
yes,
So, did we miss the audit services financial city planner? Are we not gonna move forward with those, cause that is time sensitive with the state of Minnesota for the auditing services and the financial advisors. So I'm just, the financial advisors is Ellers, and next meeting, we have that TIF district that's coming up. So I just wanna point that out.
So the motion Troy had was to table through the stormwater utility board review, through the 23rd. So we can continue discussion on keeping, continuing, retaining Abdo Eckenmeyers for our audit.
Well, so I don't mind, I'll just rescind that motion for now, if you'd like to focus on number 2, the fee schedule, if you would like to go in
Well,
order.
we, you know, I jumped ahead, it's my fault. We have, it's part of that, of the first motion, or the first, resolution is the audit, the financial advisor, city planning and engineering services. So we need to discuss that.
All right, if I can, I would be certainly comfortable with, continuing services with Ellers, since that seems to be important with the TIF district for our accounting firm. The other I would, prefer to wait until our next meeting. But Ellers sounds like that's important, Mary, at this point with the TIF
Yes,
district?
very much so,
Okay.
but so is the auditing services, because we're into the new year, and we need to get moving on audit in order to have it done and completed for the state of Minnesota. So there's several deadlines there, and I don't know what those deadline dates are, but I know there are several that need to move forward.
But they're not within the next 2 weeks or the end of the month, or?
They take a
Deadline.
while
Right.
to get through, it's not like an overnight thing, it takes several people, moving forward with it, so.
And do we still have, Abdo doing audit services from
Right.
2022 then also?
No, so they are waiting for the go-ahead before they will move forward with any more audit stuff. They have still been helping me a little bit on that, cleaning things up, but that's also because they know that we are meeting tonight. I don't know what will happen tomorrow, if we haven't voted on it.
So we can move forward, in approving the audit services and the financial services and the engineering services.
Question on the audit, services. If by moving forward, are we locking ourselves in for another year contract? Do we have a contract that we can see, how much it's costing, fees?
Well,
et cetera?
Brad did give us all that information during the budget, and that's what was approved,
Okay,
based on information that he gave. And beyond that, I don't know, because I wasn't here most of the year last year, but it's, I think, been the same.
Yeah, but is it a 6-month contract with them, or is it for a full year?
I thought it was a full year, but I don't
Okay.
know.
I guess I'd like to see the contract before we approve anything with Abdo at this point. Because we did just approve, was it October, we approved services through till December 31?
For the special help with
And that was the reconciliation, right?
yep, and we're still working on that.
Okay,
We're close, but we're getting there.
so have they done the audit, they're done with the 2022 audit then?
No, that's what they
They're,
have to
they're
do.
still working on that?
Well, that's what they're gonna start on, that's what this new contract would be for.
Oh, I
is
see,
to
I
do the
see.
audit for 22,
Okay, yeah.
because they don't do the audit ahead of time. So they're, by having them now, they would be doing the 22 audit. Otherwise, you're gonna have to go out for an RFP, get a new firm in
Auditor.
here in order to do the audit for, so it's not, I don't know how to answer that, I guess. You'd be holding up the progress of getting the 22 audit done.
Right.
I would suspect, it's just an assumption on my
For
part.
2 weeks.
Audit for 2022 fiscal year would be required first quarter, second quarter, no later than. I think, going out with an RFP, going through that process, bringing in somebody new would put us at risk of not meeting.
Be too long to delay. Abdo is familiar with our city, they're familiar with our system, and Mary's worked with them, and they have a good relationship with the city. I think we need to go forward with Abdo at this time.
I mean, if we could do a 6-month contract, that would be one thing. I don't know what the situation is.
Yeah.
But I think it would put the city at risk if we didn't continue with them or the, financial advisors as well.
I'm assuming in this contract, without me seeing it, I can't speak for it, but I'm assuming that we could take a look at it, we could move forward for now, and we can take a look at the fine print, and then see what it takes if we decide to break the contract and go out for an RFP, if, you know, in the future. I mean, that's one opportunity that we have, I mean, we have time.
Yeah.
I don't wanna hold anything up for the city, but I also don't want to continue doing things the way, just because that's what's been done. I mean, I wanna make sure we hold, but I can't make a decision, without seeing the contract, so that's where I'm at.
I would agree with you, Mayor. Without seeing a contract, it's hard to make a decision. Certainly on Abdo, Myers, and Bolton and Mink. But if we could get those in the next packet, if we could see a contract for the next packet for 123, then I think I'd be more comfortable making that decision at that point.
So also assuming that their contract ended on 12/31, which I'm not sure of, are we willing to pay them hourly fees on things they have to continue doing for us? Because we can't stop. And those
Yeah.
sorts of things have to be done. Or if we want to, approve them on a month-to-month basis, that's an option. I don't know if they'd be willing to
Right.
do that, but.
Get them to agree with it.
Yeah,
um,
but that even in a contract, we could see that then, if they want to give us a month-to-month basis contract or whatever hourly, so.
That would have been a great thing to know before this meeting, so you guys could have looked at it. My concern again is meeting deadlines with the auditing with the state of Minnesota, and the help that I'm in the middle of right now cleaning things up. That's my only concern.
We don't know what that deadline is either, right, for the state of Minnesota?
There's several different things that need to be, and I do not have those dates. But there's, it's not an overnight thing. They come in usually for 3-4 days. We go through everything. They go back and, I mean, they grab everything from my accounting software from all 3 deals.
Right.
So 5 years ago, before I left, I had done that for 3 years with them, and it's a long process to do. So,
And I understand that, Mary, I just don't feel that I'm doing my job correctly if I don't at least see a contract. Cause I need to represent the people, and they need to know what they're paying for and for how long they're paying for it, so I guess my position hasn't changed on it, but I won't say any more than that.
I need to see a contract too.
Could we instruct Mary to let them know that their services will be continued through the month of January? To give us time to review contract and come to a decision?
Well, that
If
would
we were-
give them the opportunity to rethink whether they wanna represent us anymore. You know, we're getting, you know, so antsy about their performance over the last couple of years. They've always done right by us, you know, and I can see you guys wanna put new eyes on things, but there are certain things that have to be done, as far as keeping the city in a financially sound position. And, Abdo's always done well by us, as well as our financial services. I wouldn't just, try to take a short look at this. I mean, look at the long term too, delays cost money. And, that doesn't, help our residential taxpayers, by costing them money.
I'm not a fan of approving contracts unseen either. But the council and mayor of to approve the budget after reviewing their proposal. I don't think there'd be great harm in continuing that with them another year, given the council's and mayor turnover as well. I think if we take the year of 2023 and look at all contracts for financial services and audit services, and whatever else we choose to, it gives us some time and takes the fire out from underneath us. And again, I don't think there's great harm done. The budget had been approved, we inherited that. We know it's there, the costs are accounted for. Again, I'm not comfortable with just approving a contract unseen, so I would say that we approve audit services and financial services conditional upon review of the contract.
And that would be at our next meeting, right, once we see the contract? Okay,
So, we're looking at temporary approving. And then, Mary, can you get us a copy of the contract on the 23rd?
Well,
And we can review it,
no,
start
no,
reviewing it.
we have to review it.
right.
Yeah, I mean, we can review it immediately, so we can talk about it on the 23rd.
So not approved tonight, we're gonna postpone it to the 23rd.
No, I think we're gonna conditionally approve it tonight.
Right.
But the condition is seeing the contract, so
It-
that would be the 23rd.
Yeah, I guess I'd have to understand conditionally, what would the conditions be that we wouldn't move forward with it? And I don't know if there's a concern on council members' part, mayor part, on their performance, or if it's the cost. If it's the cost, that was part of the budget process, so there are two council members sitting here tonight that approved that. I haven't seen the contract, I haven't seen the proposal, but I would say barring any major concerns with the contract they've provided, we approve it. And again, I don't know what major would be, but if they came back with, well, the price we gave you last year is not what we're quoting you now, I would consider that a red flag. If their hours change, again, I'm not familiar with what's in the contract, but if there are changes they make to the contract, I would say that would be a condition for not approving them or reconsidering the approval conditionally. So leaving tonight, barring any major findings with the contract, it would continue to move forward. And we could confirm that at our next meeting.
Okay.
They have two
So,
motions on the
just to
floor.
make sure that we get all our notes right. We are going to conditionally approve, we have a motion to conditionally approve the audit services of Abdo, Eck and Myers, contingent on a reviewing contract and discussion on the 23rd. Barring any red flags of price concerns.
So how long?
I haven't seen a budget, and I haven't seen a contract, so.
Right, but-
I wasn't part of that process, so I mean, I don't wanna approve things just to approve it, but I also don't wanna have us go out and all of a sudden we lose them and then we go for RFP and it's double what they've proved to. So I think conditionally we should approve it, it's my opinion, I'm not telling anybody how to vote, on review of the contract and discussion on the 23rd.
You know, I think, we don't have legal services right now either.
No.
So, I think it's just a huge risk not continuing with these contracts. We've had enough difficulties the last year and a half, 2 years. I don't think we should, incur self-inflicted wounds.
Yeah, but you mentioned the legal services, and that's just giving me another red flag to wait. But, until we have legal services, and that contract be reviewed as well. But, that's all right, I've said my piece, so I'm ready for a vote.
So, do you need,
So who made?
Tim made the motion to, conditionally approve Abdo, Eck and Myers. And then we'll review the contract and have discussion on the 23rd.
Okay,
Will this include financial advisors as well and engineering services?
I think we were saying let's approve Ellers, cause we have some, big things that we're gonna be doing.
Audit services.
Yeah, just audit services. So, we need a second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay?
Motion passes. All right, next on the agenda is financial advisors. We did speak about that, to continue the retaining Ellers and Associates. Any discussion on that? Can I get a
Motion to do?
Yeah, no.
I make a motion, we continue with Ellers and Associates of Roseville, to continue on as our financial advisors for 2023.
I'll second it.
We have a second. All those in favor?
Do we have a discussion?
Oh, I'm sorry. You got me. Yep, you're
Just-
in discussion.
Just another contract, I guess, I think we should be able to see, so, but other than that, yes, I agree. We'll continue with Ellers.
Within the next month, Mary, can we get copies sent to
Sure.
everybody?
Sure.
All right, any other discussion? Any other comments? Okay, let's go for a vote. All those in favor of keeping Ellers and Associates of Roseville, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. City planner, right now, we don't have one on contract. I think we should continue the way we've been using that and go out and get, as needed, a city planner on contract when we need it, when we have events come up that we need it, so. I did, since it's blank, that we need to continue making a motion and passing, nobody?
I don't think we need
Okay.
it.
Any discussion, any concern about that?
Well, I just have a question. So if we find a need to use one, is there a pool of planners that we have gone to historically, or is that something that we,
I say we check with the League of Minnesota Cities.
because it might be worth our while to start looking at something and have a bench to go to, an approved bench to go to when we want to.
I don't wanna throw more work on your plate, Mary, but when you get a chance, can you reach out to League of Minnesota Cities and find out if they have, recommendations? And then, let's look at also possibly coming up with some type of, I don't know if it'd have to be an RFP, but maybe we can get something together locally that we can have on the books, cause I'm sure there's people in our, community that would be able to help us with this as well.
Well, we should look at what our neighbors are doing too. If they do it on an ad hoc basis, if they part-time contract with somebody, maybe we could tag team with that too.
Engineering services, we've retained Bolton, and is it Menk? Maplewood. Is there any discussion, or, well, I need a motion on discussing our engineering services.
I would make a motion that we continue with Bolton and Mank Incorporated of Maplewood, but, have some comments during the discussion.
Can I get a second?
I'll second, because I want to hear the comments.
All right, engineering services, discussion is open.
I think it's just in keeping with the other conversations we've had. I don't know anything about Bolton and Mank. In my line of work, we didn't use them, but I'm guessing they're more municipality oriented. But I'd just like to take a look at what their services are. Again, contract or proposal for, we should have proposals from each of these firms for a period during 2023, if not all of 2023. But if they're familiar with our community, our systems,
Well, the fellow that they have
that's
designated.
of great value.
Is Jake Guzik, and he's, advised us on several engineering projects, over the course of the last several years. And he's pretty sharp at what he does. He's familiar with the city and our needs as a small city. So my recommendation is we go forward with Bolton and Mank as for our engineering services.
And if you find a good engineer and you've been happy with them, don't get rid of them. They're hard to come by.
Questions, discussion, Troy? No? Good, alright. Let's put it to a vote. All those in favor of retaining Bolton Inc. for our engineering services for 2023, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Our next one on the list is a health officer. We do have an opening for a city health officer. I'm gonna need a motion to discuss.
I think that might be one to table for now until we can find the right person. You know, we lost a good one. Dr. Bill Young served our city for many, many years, and it was a shame and a great loss. So we maybe should table that until we find the right one.
And I would need to know more what it is. I did some online searching, I really couldn't find anything on what the health officer's responsibilities are.
Can I make a motion that we postpone it to an indefinite period of time? Instead of table?
Yep.
All right.
I would second that.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Passes. We did it. We got through it. All right, our next one is adoption of resolution. Oh, I'm sorry.
So
Mary.
we do need to, actually approve a resolution.
Oh, we do
whatever
approve the
that
whole thing
is.
even though okay.
Yep, we
All
do
right.
need to approve the resolution with the changes and the omissions until the next one. So what that means is anything that was tabled to the next meeting will be removed from this resolution.
Okay.
And then a new resolution will be set forward at our next meeting.
All right, so we are going to look to adopt resolution 23-01-00. But we are postponing indefinite all commissions at this time.
Let's say a motion to approve this resolution with the omissions that were stated and the changes that were made to it.
Okay.
So
So,
the changes would be anything we added.
and you have
and the
all, do we need to go through the changes or do you have
Nope,
them
I
all?
think I have them.
You got 'em? Okay.
And then the omissions will go to the next resolution. So just,
Yeah, I'll make that motion to approve resolution 230100 with the omissions and changes that were included and excluded.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Passes. I'm gonna make Sandra proud, we gotta get
Wake
that.
them up.
take that away.
All right, our next item is adoption of the resolution 23-0101, the 2023 fee schedule with a change to the sheriff's fee. On here, it's the same fee schedule, we have not made any changes except, like I said, the sheriff's fee is going up for the community center, and that went to $64.12, and it's a 2-hour minimum, correct?
That is correct.
So I'm gonna need a motion on the fee schedule for 2023.
I'll make the motion.
Fee schedule.
Larry, thank you, Larry. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion on the fee schedule?
I just have a couple of minor things. I found a typo or two in here. I already talked to Mary about it, so assuming those will be corrected, as part of the motion to approve.
Okay.
And then I just wanna make the comment that right here on the agenda item is these rates can be revisited during the year, so I wanna point that out. The purpose for this, we wanted to get that sheriff's, department in there for the community center, but these fees can be revised.
Any other discussion? All right, so we're going to have a motion to adopt the fee schedule for 2023 with the change in sheriff's fee, as well as some grammatical errors. And then also, please make note that, we will hopefully revisit this when we've had an opportunity to really look at it. All right, so we need to bring it to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. All right, so our next one is adoption of resolution 230102, employee compensation and benefits. It would be A, as Troy had said. This is adopting the 2023 salary listed on our packet. Has everybody had an opportunity to look at that and review it?
Yeah, at this point, I would like to repeat that motion I have, postpone the agenda items A 4, 5, and 6 to a definite date and time, which would be Monday, January 23rd, 2023.
All right, Troy has a motion to postpone 4, 5, and 6, as well as job descriptions and temporary employment. Troy, is that what you're saying? Until January 23?
Right.
Do I have a second?
No, I have a question. Would this be holding up the staff's paychecks until then?
I don't know. If we pass it, then we'll have a discussion. I'm going through it, so. Just, we need a second to have a discussion.
Could I make a friendly, change here? Can we do one at a time?
Yeah.
Can we just work on 4, then
Okay.
move on to 5?
Are we good on that? All right,
Sure.
okay. Let's go back and we'll read,
Yep.
so Troy
The
would,
motion.
Troy would like to, move that we, postpone into a definite time of January 23rd, the adoption of the employee compensation and benefits. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, we are open to discussion on, moving the employee compensation benefits resolution to January 23rd. Any discussion?
Well, I would ask why, if you wanna postpone that.
Well, I would like to see the resolution on the hourly pay for the clerk treasurer of $36. Last I remember was 34
And
last
in
year, and I don't.
the budget going forward, I think we approved all these.
Well, like I said, Larry, I didn't see a resolution for that. I remember 34, but I
It
don't
was
remember
part of the
seeing a
budget.
resolution.
That you approved.
The one that,
As a
yeah,
whole.
and I don't have that yet, Mary, so I'm sorry, that's gonna be tough for me to, I don't have the final budget.
Okay, I thought everybody had the budget when we went, I had copies available.
No, I never had one yet.
I'll get you the budget.
Is this something that we can, take a short recess and get that now, so we can continue making decisions?
I'd have to go make copies, it's gonna take me a little bit to go make copies and stuff, so. I had the budgets all available at the preliminary, at the final, at the I didn't do it at the last meeting in December, cause all that did was move it forward to the county, otherwise, on the December 12th meeting, they were available here. I think I made a copy for each council member as well.
Do we know what the percent increases were? It states there 23 compensation.
So each one, based on the budget, went up by $2. And that was what the personnel liaisons did when we came to the budget sessions.
So these wages were discussed by the, personnel liaisons, brought to the city council,
Was all
put
part
into
of
the
the,
budget.
all part of the budget process, correct?
If, I go back to Larry's question, I need confirmation too. If this isn't approved today, does that mean that you stay at 2022's?
Yes.
And then once it is approved, then it's back pay then too, right? Make up
I think
for
we
what
have
we paid
to-
this check.
I think we'd have to state that it would be.
Okay, so,
So I think, a second, this is discussion.
Yep.
If I were Mary or Paul, or Diane, I'd be disappointed if I knew that my salary was approved by the previous council and this council, was not, holding up to that agreement. I just see trouble with that, and, I don't think we need any more personnel issues to deal with. Not that I think they're holding us hostage or anything like that, but it seems to me we've pretty much made a commitment. Some of us have, two of us sitting here have made a commitment to move these salaries forward. I would say that, you'll hear me voting no on the motion. For that reason, I think, they've earned it, they deserve it, they've been counting on it. This was publicly disclosed, so.
Is this something that we can, approve, on contingent of getting are you open to approving?
No, I'm actually persuaded by what Councilmember Gross said. I'm gonna withdraw my motion. I know all three of them have been working very hard, right now, so I think they deserve that. I don't have all the information I would like, but I think I've made my point that, going forward, I think we have to have this stuff included. The budget that I got, in my opinion, wasn't the final budget, and I had some concerns about it, but, I still think we should have resolutions for items like this, but I do know you've been working very hard, Mary, and I know Paul has as well, so I appreciate that, and, I'll just withdraw the motion at this time.
Okay. All right,
So,
so now we're back to the first resolution, we need a motion to pass the.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that we pass the employee compensation resolution 230102.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, now we're back, open to discussion for the original
Who was
resolution.
second?
Yeah, Troy.
yeah.
I do have one thing I want to bring up on this after we've reviewed it. I want to bring attention to the overtime bank that was approved for 2023. The reason I'm bringing that up is we are down 2 people right now, and the people that we have in office here have been working very hard. And I want them to not be worried about overtime. I know 43 hours was designated for public works, 20 was for admin for the year. We need to think about that as we move forward. I don't want them to worry about putting overtime in as long as they're doing their job, which they have been.
I share your concerns, and as I read through the personnel policy, it seems like a very convoluted compensation with the comp time and the overtime, so, I definitely agree with you, Brandon, that, those will be needing to be adjusted at some point. We do have the authority to do that. The other thing I would like to say is regarding the council pay and mayor pay, I just have some clarification edits, if you will, to both of those. So where it states, so therefore be it resolved that the city council and mayor will receive, et cetera, at the end of attend. A special meeting that they attend, I would suggest we have a semicolon there, and payment will be made at the end of each calendar year. And then we just repeat that at the end of the council pay. And actually, I'm not sure the council pay on the first part for the mayor's pay should even be there now that I'm reading it. It should be mayor pay, colon.
Right. Okay. Yep, you're right, I see it. So instead of council, okay, so you guys, nobody can see this, so basically what we are talking about right now, I'm just gonna go ahead and read this off, because
Sure.
I didn't know this until I got up here and read it. So right now, we're talking about what the mayor is compensated, and right now it's $1,800 per calendar year. And then $15 per council/budget/special meeting. And it's listed as council pay both, so we're gonna change it to mayor pay. And then on the bottom, for the council members, their pay is $1,200 per calendar year, and then $10 per meeting, special meeting or budget meeting as well. So just so you know, it's transparent, you know what we're making, it's on record. You can get a copy of this as well, Mary has them. All right, so, is there any further discussion on this resolution? All right, let's go ahead and vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. On to resolution 23-0103. This is for the quarterly transfers. Quarterly transfers is taking money from our water and sewer fund and moving it to the general fund to pay salaries for our people.
Well, it's to repay the general fund for salaries to Public Works.
And it's done on a quarterly, well, I suppose, I could read this now and then we can motion. It's a quarterly basis of $7,500 transferred into the general fund to replenish that. So we'll need a motion on resolution 23-01-04.
I'll make the motion that we approve, resolution 230103, quarterly transfers.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
And it is open for discussion.
So it states this was included in the budget, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Any other questions?
Well, I have a concern, I still haven't, I don't have the treasurer's report, so I don't know what these balances are in these budgets and these funds. And until I do, I would be opposed to, transferring money like this until I'm able to see it, so.
Is treasurer's report, is that something that we can get back to getting in our packet?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
And we're very close, so it should be on the next meeting anyway, we should have fund balances. As long as everything moves forward with ABDO this time. We're very close,
So this is all internal transfers,
that is
so
correct.
it could wait. We're not up to a deadline or anything like that.
Nope.
Being at the beginning of the year, we won't have any negative fund balances.
So, you had said something earlier, Troy, that, when you were making resolutions on,
Oh.
postponing indefinite,
I can
and
do
you
that.
tried to put them all together, do you wanna do that per getting the treasurer report, or are you open, I mean, where are we at?
Well, I can make a motion to postpone agenda item A5 until a definite date and time, based on the condition that we do get the treasurer's report, which would be Monday, January 23rd, 7 p.m.
All right, so I need a second on postponement to a definite time.
Second.
Any discussion on postponing to January 23rd of the quarterly transfers?
It makes sense what Tim said, you know, it's an internal transfer, we can.
Okay, wait, okay. Any other questions, Lee or Troy, any more?
Nope.
Nope. All right, let's take it to a vote. All those in favor? Opposed? All right. Mary will postpone resolution 23-0104 until January 23rd when we have the treasurer's report.
I believe it's 03.
Is it?
Right, it says it on the,
23-01-03.
Okay, my sheet says,
yep, typo.
that's all right. I just wanna make sure we get the right notes in the notes. All right. On to number 6, adoption resolution 23-0104, reimbursement rates. We do not set these reimbursement rates, they're all set by the state of Minnesota, the federal government as well. And right now, we have a list of 13 for continental breakfast, 15 for lunch, 26 for dinner. Incidental charges are 5. First and last day of travel, 44 1/4. These are standard rates for 2023. I'm gonna need we also have an increase of 3 cents per mile for mileage reimbursement.
So what is the total, let's see, oh, 65.5 cents per mile, good, okay.
Yeah.
Up 3 cents from mid-year increase, okay, that's what I wanted to know.
So the resolution is type the 22 numbers will be dropped off of there, just so you're aware.
Okay.
And there is a difference between 22 and 23 on the dinner thing, I don't know why.
That's right, that was $1 difference, I saw that. So, 22, it was actually $1 more, it went down $1 this year for dinner, so.
No dessert.
I need a second on adopting resolution 230104.
Second.
Any other,
Who made the motion?
I guess I did. I made it.
Alright.
And Larry seconded. Any discussion on the reimbursement rates? Anything?
I would just say, I found one typo as well, so assuming that'll be taken care of. And then this, is subject to change, at least the mileage is subject to change, I know. The IRS has changed those mid-year before, so, just so everyone is aware that this could be coming back.
Just to note that did change last July
Okay,
to the .625, so.
okay. Any other discussion? All right. Let's take it to a vote. All those in favor of passing our reimbursement rates for 2023? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Passes. I have to get one to bring home.
That's right.
So, we have, discussion of job descriptions, for those, that are with us tonight. We are going to be looking into job descriptions for a public works superintendent, as well as a zoning coordinator administrator. So, I guess we'll need a motion to adopt discussion on job descriptions for both public works and zoning coordinator.
I'll make a motion, if for no other reason, to get discussion on it.
Do I have a second?
Yeah, I'll second.
All right, we can now discuss job descriptions on our two wonderful openings.
So when we say discussion of job descriptions, what does that really mean? We have, I assume we have job descriptions
Yes.
for both. And would we, as personnel liaisons, review those and come back here with recommended changes then?
Yep.
And is this an approval, a motion to approve posting these positions, or just reviewing the job
We just have to
descriptions?
review the job descriptions. You and I will
Okay.
read through them and, you know, if we need to see some changes that need to be made, we can do that, or bring those changes to the council, that the council can approve them. And then we go out and post for the job.
Okay.
Is this something in here, I have a question, that when you two are doing your homework, so to say, and, can we also make sure that we put in there to review salaries and get a mean, for our area?
Yeah,
Sure.
so-
Okay. Everything changes so much in the last 2 years, salaries have went up and down, and they just keep on going, so I wanna make sure that we're doing just to anybody that we decide to hire or post a position, so that's why I asked that question.
So is it the expectation that we bring this back to our next council meeting then and approve posting the positions, or can we do that? I'm not sure what the rules are, who has to
Yeah.
approve that?
I guess I have a comment if I could. I'm the same situation here until we see the job descriptions. I guess I'm gonna ask, at some point when this motion is closed, to postpone until an indefinite period of time, until we see the job descriptions. Now, I know Larry said that's a personnel liaison, but I think the whole council can see the job description.
Yes,
and
you
should be
can,
able to read it.
because
Right.
the job description is in the personnel policy. It's not listed in the packet, but I have and I got it from City Hall in my councilman's, ring binder.
Okay,
As a new councilman 16 years ago, there was a personnel policy that describes the public works superintendent's position as well as the zoning coordinator's position. So that's all available, you know.
Mhm.
You can go to City Hall and pick it up and read it. And then we have our discussion. Tim and I will review it, make our recommendations, and it's open to discussion.
but I hope I'm speaking for the both of us, we'll make sure it happens quick,
Yeah.
because those are positions that
Yeah, we
can't
need
stay
to.
vacant much longer.
Is that something you guys think, with confidence that we could put on the agenda for the 23rd, discussion of the job
Yes.
description, so we can move forward? Okay, great.
Then in that case, then I would make my motion to postpone this agenda item to January 23rd.
This agenda item is just to
Yeah,
review.
it was just discussion.
It-
Yeah,
it's
we're not
just-
gonna,
Okay.
we're not authorizing anybody to hire, we picked our liaison, so they're gonna go ahead and get to work on that.
Okay.
And we'll review this on the 23rd, because it is time sensitive, right, Mary? Alright. So, yeah, no kidding.
Hopefully sleeping.
No more snow for a while for Paul. Alright, so do we need to motion, or do we need to second and move on from this? Do we need to take a vote on this?
So
Is it
it was
just
just for discussion, so it doesn't need, as long as you
It's not
have
a
the
resolution.
liaisons, they
Yeah.
can do, yeah,
Okay.
there's no resolution or anything.
So number C, and this goes under job descriptions and filing positions, we're also gonna speak about reviewing temporary employment. Currently, we've had some temporary help in our office from Lynn Longnecker and then also Molly Nelson. I guess it's open for discussion on how this council wants to continue moving forward, what we think about getting temporary help, maybe volunteer help. Good discussion topic, so.
Well, until we find a zoning administrative coordinator, Lynn's just in there, on a temporary basis, and he knows where to look up things, and, he's a face in the office that the city and residents are familiar with. So, until we have a full-time zoning administrator, I think Lynn should continue in the job on a temporary basis as he was originally hired. And Molly Nelson has been assisting Mary in getting the office straightened up with filing, and I think we should probably continue with Molly as well. She's in the middle of the job and is a great assistance to Mary. So my recommendation, we go forward with them both, Lynn until we find a zoning administrator and Molly until the office gets straightened out.
Can I make one note?
Yeah.
Molly has also been able to work in the banking system, helping with that type of stuff, entering. So she's not just doing filing and cleaning up, she has been a help with the rest of it as well, so I can stay focused.
I have one question, Mary, can either of these two do meeting minutes?
Do what?
Meeting minutes?
Lynn, no.
I would say Molly, no, as well. She does have a full-time job. She works out in Bloomington, so when she makes an effort to get here, it's an hour and a half to 2 hour drive.
Is that where you could use some help as meeting minutes?
I can, but as people are helping and doing other things, it's gonna give me more time to do the minutes as well, as things are getting cleaned up.
I do have another question when it comes to temporary staffing and help. I appreciate everybody that's been helping, and helping, the city do whatever they need to do, because you've been by yourself. As far as going forward, is there also an opportunity that maybe one of us could reach out to a local temporary agency, such as, we have Express Personnel, I know, over in St. Croix Falls, and maybe we can see if we can get additional temporary help for you, because I know they're both, or, I know Molly's working full-time. If we could get somebody temporarily in here to help file, or even do the minutes, so you can continue getting caught up on other things, is that something this council would be open to reaching out? We can appoint somebody to
Yeah.
get information.
The
I
only,
think Larry and I can probably investigate that a little bit. I think it'd be good to have a temp agency on the bench regardless, because you have 2 people in the office, 2 people in the public works, and that's it. It's a pretty skeleton crew, and if anybody goes down, it's a big hurt. So I think maybe Larry, you and I should talk a little bit about developing plans for those types of contingencies.
I do have one comment. It's not just filing, I know it looks like a mess back there, but I have piles because there are things I have to accomplish and I don't really want them filed till it's completed. So it's a lot of, not just come in and quick file everything away, it's actually helping with the other processes that go at hand, whether it's research, finding things, which is a huge thing. So I just wanna know that.
Is there, with Tim and Larry, when they're in, working on filling the positions that we have open, is there an opportunity, for you to sit down and let them know what you need for help? When
Sure.
cause then they can take that to the temporary agency, so
Sure.
we can get the right people.
Sure,
Okay.
absolutely.
And the only other comment I'd like to make to Larry and Tim is, I think we should keep ourselves open to the possibility of residents, citizens, volunteers who would like to come in and give Mary some assistance and dedicate some time to the city that they live in as well. I know that we have some security issues with some of the data, but I think as far as meeting minutes go and some general filing, I think we have some very qualified and trustworthy people living right here in Taylor's Falls that would be willing to help you out.
Certainly, yeah, we'll take a look at that.
Let's reach out to League of Minnesota Cities and make sure we get exactly any information we can on volunteers from the community, because if we could go that route safely, it would benefit all of us.
And I don't know where this kind of conversation will come into play in the future, but I've been up here several times kind of trying to orient myself to all the goings on within the city. And both Mary and Lynn spend an inordinate amount of time trying to find things. And we need to make a move to digitize copies of everything and filed well. And I don't know, between the website, our cloud-based or whatever we have for digitized storage for the city, we need to really take a look at cleaning all of that up and just making it more efficient. It would be my hope that we could do that and relieve some of that, the digging, the mining, from our staff that we do have, to free them up to deal face-to-face with the community members. And even to the point of, I think it'd be a great opportunity for an intern who's in public administration or any type of municipal education that would come in and give us a hand with that, I think would be an excellent idea and get us out of the 20th century and actually into the 21st century.
I did have one comment, if you don't mind. Because Molly is an employee of the city, and there are kind of requirements that have to do with the website, she is willing to get us going up and running on the website if you are interested in doing that. I don't think that's something we can open up to volunteers because of the sensitivity of what goes on there, but she would be willing to do that as well.
Our next agenda is gonna be really packed, we got a lot coming up, but I would like to put it on maybe the following agenda to really delve into the website. I know there was some funds used to create a new one, and I'd like to learn more where we're at with that, and that'll give us a good, good basis to make decisions on how we wanna fix going forward, and maybe reach out to Molly or other people in our area and hire them to finish that.
I mean, I have been trained, so it'd be easy for me to train Molly. At the time, both Steve and I were trained to do it, so it's just now it's a time restraint and get on there.
Any other discussion on temporary employment?
Have we reached a conclusion with this, or was?
This was just for discussion.
Okay.
I think moving forward right now, we're gonna continue having Lynn and Molly in here, until next meeting. Hopefully we'll have some job descriptions. We'll also, know a little more possibly about temporary help, and then, we'll reach out to the League of Minnesota Cities and find out what we can do with, residents that have been volunteering. That way we know what we can and can't do, so none of us get in trouble.
So is the employment of both Lynn and Molly month to month, or what are we,
You
or
know,
until hires, are we gonna give them some sort of commitment?
I would like to see, I mean, was there a contract, signed by either of them when they came in, like a temporary contract, or is it just word of mouth, or?
You know, not for any length of time, just as needed.
Okay.
Is Lynn here like 3 days a week?
2 to 3.
2 to 3?
I mean, he also has another job that he does, but anytime that he is in there, he answers those emails in the front counter and really researches the zoning.
Because whatever they're making is less than what we would have budgeted for.
Yep.
Anyway, and I would guess that it would, minimize to some degree the overtime required by Mary. So I don't think it's a financial discussion. I think it can only benefit if Lynn is up here and Mary is on lunch break, you know, the desk stays open.
Yeah.
So, and Molly, I would assume the same, if we could alternate their days and hours and make sure that, going on to office hours, I think it would help with, keeping the office open to the community as well.
Molly is limited to nights or
Oh.
weekends.
Okay.
I guess I would like, this time I'd like to ask the personnel liaisons, once again, if we can come up with a contract of some sort, paid. I know it might not be lengthy, but, I think, to avoid any legal entanglements, I think we should have a contract on hand, no matter how few hours they're working or what pay it is. I think we better have
An
that.
employment agreement for,
Right.
for
Right.
both, yep, yep.
I think that, I mean, for anybody to, we're gonna be able to give them a time frame of how long we're gonna need them after we get that, and we get job descriptions and the next meeting, so I wanna respect anybody that's helping, in the future or right now, to make sure they know how long we're gonna move forward with using them and not just drop somebody.
I think Lynn is pretty good about triaging things that would go to you, Mayor, as well, correct?
Yeah, yep,
So-
yep, he's reached out a few times, but he's been really helpful, he's been putting things together for me, so. Any other discussion on temporary? So we'll have more information to talk about it, and, we'll do a resolution next, on the 23rd. Office hours were listed, currently, they're, what, 9 to 3?
9 to 3.
Is the council okay keeping current office hours? Do we wanna look at changing them, extending them? What would we like to do?
What do you think, Mary? We good with 9 to 3?
I'm good with 9 to 3. Most of the time I do have it open early, stay open late. However, there are some times that I'm needing to have some training and I'm gonna have to shut it down if nobody's in the office. So,
I think that goes back to our discussion on temporary or volunteer being available for those situations. And this is 9 to 3, Monday through Thursday, is that correct?
yes.
Okay.
And I think, the office hours are due to change soon as we get full time help in the office. We'll reopen it and, look at possibly, I'm not gonna commit to anything but Monday through Friday possibly, or, you know, just expanded hours, so.
We can reassess that.
Yeah. Any other questions on office hours? So we'll just keep them the way it is for right now.
Do we wanna vote on that, or,
Do you wanna?
no, I'm good with
It's
it,
not
that's fine.
changing, right?
It's not changing.
Nothing's changing.
Okay.
Okay.
It's more of a discussion, I guess.
Okay.
Is there anything that anybody would like to bring up that's not on the agenda? Any discussion? Anybody like to say anything?
Just have a quick, point of, question, I guess, on the RFPs for the attorney.
Yes.
How many do we have, and when could
So,
the council see those?
so it closed at 1 o'clock last Friday. We have 2 firms. And speaking with Brandon, we decided I would get them out either tomorrow or Wednesday for your review so that you can look. What I would recommend is not waiting until next meeting to ask the questions. If you have questions that you want me to reach out to these people, get them to me right away so that we can keep the discussions going. Otherwise, it's just gonna postpone it. But no reason to wait till the council meeting. Come up and talk to me and so we can get it figured out. So hopefully I can get them out this week, either tomorrow or Wednesday. You know, quite a bit, a bigger packet, and then my next question is, do you want me to reach out and have them attend the next meeting? Or do we wanna just wait and you're gonna let me know how? I don't wanna hold anything up by, waiting and saying, oh, well, we should have had them here, or have them come and it was a waste of their time to do so. So that, I'm throwing that out to you guys.
How does the interview process work? Is that a public forum?
I would,
I don't,
No, it's not a public forum. We go into private session with, for the interview process.
So we could have them here at the next meeting. We could have them just state their qualifications and why they think they're the best firm
Right.
for this job, and then we can close the meeting, adjourn, close meeting, and do the interviews? Is that how it works, or do you
you know,
schedule a
could, but
close?
that'd be a long night.
No,
Right.
it's a
I would do
separate
it
day.
separate.
We schedule, a separate night to do the interviews.
Okay.
But
And,
I'm sorry, Larry, go ahead.
and, we meet up in the mayor's office, and we sit around the table, the interview, the prospect sits at one end of the table, and we have a list of questions, and we go around the table and ask the questions, have discussion. And, we usually do, if there's only two, we'll do both interviews in the same night.
So we have a quorum of the council
Yeah.
at that meeting. Does it have to be an open,
it doesn't have to be open.
could we
Well,
confirm
because-
that? Because I thought I read those sorts of things had to be open to the
Well,
public.
the
I'm not
interview
sure.
process
Yeah.
needs to be
Never-
open?
No,
I think we can do interviews, but we can't make a decision until we're back.
No, you cannot.
So
And
we
would
can
have
come
to
back and
post-
we'll present everybody what we found, for both, and then we can make a motion, or adopt a resolution, make a motion to pass whoever we wanna move forward with out of the two.
Right.
Or
So
go
it's
back
similar
to-
We do
to
have to,
job.
we still have to post that you're meeting, because there is gonna be a quorum. But I guess we'd have to verify, I didn't think it was an open meeting either. For the
it never has
interviews.
been, it's always been closed.
That's what I can verify with the league.
Yeah, I would just like clarification, so my vote for yes will be conditional on it being, in keeping with, state statutes regarding, open meeting laws.
And I guess if they could, just my opinion, we don't wanna wait too long on this, so if they can come and introduce themselves for 5-10 minutes, can attorneys keep it to 10 minutes or 15 minutes, I don't know. But I would appreciate that, I wouldn't have a problem if they can do that on the 23rd of January, that's great. Or if we get one on the 23rd and one on the first meeting in February, but I don't think we
Well,
wanna wait too long on it. Get it
Let me
going.
ask you this question, do you want to instruct me to reach out and set up, the meeting time? Basically interview times prior to the 23rd? We have two firms, so if you want to instruct me to reach out to them, and we'll set up times for that, then you can come before the 23rd meeting and make a decision if you want to. It's just an option, Karen.
I'm open to that, no matter what, I wanna make sure that we like them, it's a big decision for the city. And I wanna make sure that everybody knows too, why we chose who we chose, and keep that as open as we can legally.
The other thing too is the way they're written, and I have not read through them. But, one could be listing this type of services for this amount, and then this person can be doing it in a different way. So those are some of the questions when you're looking at those packets. If you want to see it a different way, or if you're wanting them to bring it forward in a different manner, that would be something I would want to reach out to them and let them know, so that they can get that information to you correctly. So that you're doing apples and apples and not apples and oranges.
So, do we wanna pick a date for interviewing, or do we wanna wait till we can see this packet tomorrow or Thursday, or Wednesday, and then, we don't know what we're looking at yet, so it's tough to make a decision on something that's,
But we know we need to interview.
yes,
So,
I don't wanna put it.
knowing calendars
So do we-
and how they are, I think it'd be best to get something on the books and prepare ourselves for it.
Okay.
16th is open for a Monday,
Well, we can set a date, but we gotta see what their availability is.
okay?
there is Martin Luther King Day on, I believe that is the
Monday,
16th.
yep.
So,
We could do it the 17th. You wanna see if they both can meet on the 17th?
so can we pick 2 dates and I will
Yeah.
reach out to them and see what works?
17th and 18th.
Are we talking evenings, afternoons, mornings, anything's open?
As long as it's on my calendar, I'm open. It works for me.
Troy?
I'm good almost anything. Yeah, I'll, if I get enough warning, I'll make a daytime meeting. That's fine, it might even be better, so.
Fine.
And you prefer them back to back, do you believe? Or do you
Usually a
all
30
in one
minutes.
day or?
I mean, if we can have them both come in the same day, that'd be great.
That'd be-
Everything's fresh and we can have a good discussion with them.
Morning, afternoon, does it matter?
I'm open, morning or afternoon.
Morning, afternoon.
Either or.
Yep.
After 6 AM.
Yes. So 17th or 18th?
17th or 18th. So I will need a motion for me to move forward.
Okay,
I'll make that motion for clerk treasurer to move forward on contacting the 2 RFPs we have for legal services for the city of Taylor's Falls to set up a meeting.
do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Passes. Any other discussion? Any comments? We're coming to the end here. It's 8:30.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Yeah.
So, just to make sure we have for next meeting, we have the TIF district, and that will, I don't know if it needs to be a resolution or a motion, I'm still finding that out, for the sale of that property. The RFPs for the attorneys, and then the continuation of the organizational resolutions. Is there anything else?
We were gonna have a discussion on the personnel moves, public works and zone coordinator.
Did I miss anything then?
Well, I'm sorry, what was that, Larry? Discussion on the public work?
Personnel, the job descriptions.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Okay, that's all I have, I just wanted to make sure I have them all.
And when do you put the packets out for the next meeting? Does that
So,
require us to be done by then?
that is, okay, so I guess there's 2 things, so we're gonna request anything that goes into the agenda to be to me by noon on the Wednesday prior to the meeting. So that gives me time for the agenda and to get the packets together. And then also, there are some slips at the back of the room. If you are interested in receiving an agenda or the packet, if you could please fill that out and drop it off with me. The list of who we were supposed to send it to kind of got lost in the mix, so I'm just recreating it.
This would be an email, right? An email?
It would be
address-
email
address,
only,
okay.
correct?
So if you want packets or anything, you gotta redo it. And so everybody watching at YouTube, you gotta call and redo it, all right? Because you're not gonna get one until you do it, so. Okay. Larry, motion to adjourn, do I have a second?
The only thing I wanted just real quick is congratulations to the new council members and mayor, Councilmember Samuelson, Councilmember Groth, Mayor Weber, and to all the people that are still here. I just wanted to, I think it's a victory for the city. I'm glad to see these people stepping up and everybody showing up to meetings. That's it.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you. All right, I need a second to adjourn the
I'll
meeting.
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
Generally, it's not a